Ever wondered who you'd be if you took that one different path in life? A soldier? A scientist? A total mess? There's a game for that, and it gets real. It's called The Alters, and it's not just another sci-fi survival game. It's one of the most unexpectedly brilliant titles I've played this year, and trust me, it's not just good. It messes with your brain in the best way possible. But here's the real kicker. This game isn't just about survival. It's about regret, identity, and the weight of every single choice you've ever made. Stick with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm gonna break down exactly why The Alters is so damn special. And the part near the end, yeah, it'll hit you right in the gut. Alright, so what even is The Alters? It's a sci-fi survival game from 11-Bit Studios, same people who made This War of Mine. And if you've played that, you already know these devs don't mess around when it comes to emotional storytelling. In The Alters, you play as Jan Dolsky, a guy stranded on a planet that's literally rotating into deadly sunlight. And your only way out? Cloning yourself, but not just random clones. You create alters, which are different versions of yourself based on alternate life paths. One version might be a scientist, another a miner, one's a soldier, and yeah, some of them don't like each other, or you. It sounds wild because it is wild. This isn't just some crafting simulator or build a base, survive the night kind of thing. It's existential, it's claustrophobic, and it's weirdly personal. Like, imagine sitting across from a version of yourself who made all the decisions you were too scared to make. Or worse, decisions you regret not making. That's the kind of tension this game runs on. And even crazier, these alters aren't just tools, they're characters with opinions, fears, and baggage. You're not managing a team. You're trying not to fall apart. It grabs you emotionally from the start. Every choice feels like it matters. And that's just the beginning. Alright, let's talk gameplay. Because The Alters isn't just some artsy concept game with a cool idea and no follow-through. The actual moment-to-moment play is tight, stressful, and surprisingly strategic. So you're stuck on this massive rotating wheel of a base, and the sun is constantly chasing you. That sun, completely lethal. You've got to keep the base moving, or you literally burn to death. It's like if Frostpunk and Outer Wilds had a baby, and that baby grew up watching Black Mirror on loop. Your core loop is all about managing resources, maintaining systems, and assigning tasks to your alters. But this is where the game flips the script. Every alter you create has a unique skill set, depending on their alternate life path. One might be a physicist who can research advanced upgrades, another a mechanic who repairs things quicker, and another a psychologist who keeps everyone from having a breakdown. Yeah, therapy's a mechanic here, and it sounds simple, until it really isn't. Say your life support system fails. You could run over and fix it yourself, but that's slow and risky. So, you assign your engineer alter, except now, he's refusing to work because he's beefing with the technician alter, who used to be your childhood friend in his timeline. And while you're dealing with that, another alter's having a mental spiral about his existence. Meanwhile, your reactor is melting down. One decision, just one, can unravel your entire setup. And because these characters are technically you, every mistake feels personal. You start second-guessing every command. What really hooked me is how The Alters doesn't just throw systems at you, it throws emotions. You're not managing spreadsheets, you're managing personalities, trauma, guilt. It's weirdly human. Also, the interface is clean, and there's barely any unnecessary grinding. Everything you do feeds directly into survival, progress, or storytelling. Even downtime feels tense. And just when you start to get cocky, bam, new alter, new drama, new moral dilemma. The game keeps you thinking, adapting, and kind of emotionally wrecked. It's gameplay that feels alive. Every choice has ripples, every task matters. And that's the magic, not just surviving, but navigating a weird psychological maze of your own making. Now let's get into the heart of The Alters, its story. And listen, I wasn't ready for how hard this game was gonna hit emotionally. On the surface, it's a sci-fi survival setup. But underneath, it's a deep personal narrative about identity, regret, and what it means to live with your past decisions. The game doesn't just ask, what if? It shoves that question in your face and makes you live with the answer. You play as Jan Dolsky, a regular guy. He's not a chosen hero or some space marine. He's just someone who took a mining job to pay the bills and ends up completely alone on a hostile planet. The only way to survive is to use a mysterious substance called rapidium to create different versions of himself, his alters. But here's the thing. Each alter represents a version of Jan who made a different life choice. There's the Jan who became a physicist, the one who stayed with his girlfriend, the one who didn't drop out of the military. These aren't just different skill trees, they're full characters, with memories, regrets, and opinions on the John you're playing. And the game doesn't shy away from conflict. Some alters resent you, others pity you. One of them literally says, "You had every chance I had, and you wasted it." Like, ouch. That's not just storytelling, that's therapy disguised as gameplay. And it doesn't stop there. The conversations you have with them are fully voiced and packed with emotion. Sometimes you'll bond, sometimes you'll argue, sometimes they'll open up about something that mirrors your own life in a way that makes you sit back and go, damn. What's wild is how personal it starts to feel. You're not making choices for a character. You're making choices that feel like they reflect your own life. Would I have been happier if I'd chosen a different career? What if I'd stuck with that relationship? Could I be better or worse than I am now? Even smaller moments, like finding an alter looking at a photo of a life he never lived, feel heavy. You start asking questions you weren't expecting from a game. It's weirdly vulnerable. That's what elevates the alters. It's not just telling a story, it's making you wrestle with it. It pulls you in with sci-fi and survival, then hits you with existential dread and emotional weight. It's reflective, uncomfortable, and unforgettable. Alright, now let's talk about what truly sets the alters apart, not just from survival games, but from games in general. First up, the cloning mechanic isn't just a gimmick, it's the spine of the whole experience. Creating different versions of yourself based on specific life choices is something I haven't seen done this deeply anywhere else. It's not like choosing a character class, it's about exploring alternate identities. You're not just asking, what does this version do? You're asking, who would I have been if I made that choice? And each alter isn't just a helper, they're a whole damn person. They have history. They remember things you didn't do because they lived a different life. That mechanic alone turns basic management gameplay into a psychological labyrinth. Another big standout, the way the base is structured. Your entire operation is this big, cylindrical, moving fortress. Everything is interconnected and physical. You walk through your base in first person, and when something breaks, you feel it. It's not a menu, it's a real place. The immersion is unreal. Also, the progression system is built around emotional momentum as much as mechanical upgrades. You're not just trying to get better gear, you're trying to hold your team together, even when that team is you. That's such a bizarre and original design angle. And let's not forget the pacing. The game constantly introduces new threats, upgrades, and layers of strategy, but it never overwhelms you. It feels like you're being carefully pushed, always just one step out of your comfort zone. So, yeah, the alters doesn't just do things differently, it does them meaningfully. It's not just unique for the sake of being quirky. Every weird little system serves the story, the atmosphere, and most importantly, the player experience. Let's talk about what's happening outside the game, because the community around the alters is already buzzing, and for good reason. People aren't just playing this game, they're unpacking it. Reddit threads are filled with players sharing which alters they connected with the most. Some folks are even writing full-on character analyses like, what does Soldier Jan say about masculine guilt? I mean, you don't get that with most survival games. And on the meme side, oh, it's glorious. Someone posted a screenshot with 3 alters arguing in the background and captioned it, "Me trying to get my life together." That kind of hit a little too hard. Twitch streams have also been popping off because the game creates these organic, unscripted emotional moments. Like, one guy had an alter sabotage the base out of spite, and his reaction was pure gold. It's the kind of content that's super watchable because it's so unpredictable. And here's the thing, it's a game that naturally sparks conversation. You can't help but ask your friends, which alter would you trust the most? Or, which version of yourself would you not want to meet? That social ripple effect, that's what turns a good game into a cultural moment. Alright, here's where things get a little spicy, because not everyone is in love with the alters. One of the more controversial takes floating around is this: the game is too philosophical for its own good. Some players expected a more straightforward survival sim, and instead, they got a psychological drama wrapped in sci-fi. And hey, I get that. If you're looking for something chill to unwind with, having an in-game version of yourself throw emotional shade might not be the vibe. But here's my take. That's what makes the alters bold. It takes risks. It's not afraid to slow things down, make you uncomfortable, and force you to confront stuff most games won't touch. Regret, identity, fractured personalities, that's heavy stuff. And it won't be for everyone. Also, some people argue the whole clone yourself mechanic could have been handled with simpler character roles. Like, why not just recruit NPCs with different skills? But that completely misses the point. These aren't tools, they're you. That emotional connection is the game's core. And honestly, in an industry drowning in safe, samey titles, I'd rather have a game that dares to go weird, even if it risks turning some people off. So, yeah, The Alters isn't just a good game. It's one of those rare titles that blends gameplay, emotion, and narrative in a way that sticks with you. It challenges you, not just to survive, but to reflect. If you've played it, drop a comment. Which altar hit you the hardest? Which one freaked you out the most? And if you haven't played it yet, what are you doing? Go experience it. If you're still here, you clearly vibed with this. So go ahead, hit like and subscribe.